Nah, bro. Hold up. Just for now. So the first time you booted up the game. Probably thought they seriously just leave it in a holiday. Set the clock to your favorite time. Oh shit. We're good now.
This is the story.
God damn.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Everything is still aged.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Oh, I can't even. Okay, never mind.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
What's this place? 2B1.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
I feel like I'm about to get killed, but... What the...
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
Okay.
Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket.
Yep.
Okay, let's begin.
Okay.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
I see.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct.
Okay.
It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
I see. Okay, show me the money.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
No.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Ah, oh, damn it. Okay.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Yes. What?
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I
Uh,
thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up?
uh,
Absolutely incredible. Let's
uh,
just move on to the next one.
but that's a bucket.
Is
No
this
one's
a bucket?
booing me. Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
This is a bucket.
Yes. Come on. Show me the money. Only got like 3
Item
wrong, right?
6. Is this a bucket?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Oh. Okay. 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 Okay.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
No.
Yes, thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well nothing isn't a bucket.
Yeah, of
Wait, when I
course.
say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless,
Uh-huh.
is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Yes.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
What? But you are
What
a
happened?
bucket.
Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait,
Yes.
was everything a bucket? Every
Yes.
single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a
But I said
bucket
you
after
were.
all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh,
Hmm.
this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And
Okay.
we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows
Hmm.
what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Here we are.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
419. Okay, hold up. Something here. Something here. Restart the game. Restart the game. What if I have the bucket?
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Resetting. Then we gotta go to 434, I think.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he screamed.
4:23. Now we gotta begin the game again. Just before the... Something
All of
like
his
that.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
True.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where, coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh!
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Okay. Because the boss knows what the boss get. Then 4:34.
My God, the bumpscosity in here is absolutely overwhelming. 1,000? You people have got to be nuts. How can you stand this much bumpscosity?
Eh. And now, I look to my right. Do they disappear? Jesus Christ, okay. Hold up. What do I have to do here? Push the buttons. I'm pushing the buttons, goddammit. Look at me try. So they just disappear. I'm pushing them all. Jesus Christ. Okay. Clearly it's just a troll ending. Well, You gotta be fucking me. What? Okay, so what if I reset again? Surely it will not give me the option. Oh, it does. Okay.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself, and the good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
True. How we can find them? I appeared across the office. We had to synergize only because there was no memo from management. Trust the completionist instinct? Who took these pictures of them? Provided by employee 416. Red room. The Bucky. Trust the completionist instinct. A large room, lots of boxes. Stairs, something to do with stairs. Some are both red and blue, nearby a fireplace. Looks like 427, haha. Nearby a fireplace.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Of simply being near the bucket, did he have any notion that the pin number for the keypad was 2845?
Eight.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
8.
No.
2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Yes.
Was it the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Oh.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands?
I like
Stanley
it.
figs. What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Okay. Beep. We're going up for a bit. I don't know, maybe that's me.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right.
Yep.
The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
No.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up?
Oh my god!
Buttons. There was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go
What?
back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
3. Oh,
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. After taking some time to show the bucket around the boss's office, Stanley at last went to the keypad, where he began eagerly pressing the number 3 again and again.
okay.
Wow, he said, the number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Love peanut butter. Beep. Oh, beep.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly. A hint of regret nagged in the back of Stanley's mind. Should he demonstrate the number 3 for the bucket again?
Yep.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
Come on, bucket. Now playing with one hand, but my other hand is on the peanut butter, bruh.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator. Stanley and the bucket were so close, they'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
Who knows? I'm eating peanut butter. God damn it. I'm gonna show you. God damn it, how much?
Stanley, I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
Huh? Okay, so I've seen a little bit of the previous version of this, but not the bucket version, the bucket 3 version.
For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
World's first sentient machine, baby. Hold up. What
This
if...
was it. One last chance
Stanley
to
Parable
win
3.
the bucket over. One opportunity to share
Wait,
a true
Illuminati.
connection with a loved one.
Think about it. Think about it. What shape has 3 sides? Triangle. What's the shape of the Illuminati? Exactly. Come on, man. This shit's too easy, man. Papler be
There's
like...
no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant.
Damn.
They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that. There would be no more games, no more long conversations. Pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship,
Has lost
was
it.
cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
Damn. That ending was sad. Huh? What did I say? No, I'm looking at what they said. That ending was sad. Yeah, I think that's a glitch.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What is it?
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
This is not right.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
True. There will be a reward for finding them all. Lies, I know I want them so much. Stop kidding yourselves. They will be cleaning of this wall required. Okay. A large room, lots of boxes. I don't
Coming to a
remember.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Someone red and blue? Hold up. Yes.
Actually, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now
Yep.
I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlets. What do
I
you
like
think, Stanley?
Figglies.
What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be...
I wonder if there would have been different dialogue during it. Oh, what? Huh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
Yep.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Need more planks. Somewhere, that wasn't even it. Somewhere, both red and blue, a large room, lots of boxes. What?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Maybe escape room. And here I am. Yeah. I hear him. Isn't this an ending? It's not it, I think. Nom, nom.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark cloud, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Yes. Red and blue, lots of boxes. is fucking Skippy. No.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
No.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
It's not really painful if it's instant. Oh, word? Ah! No!
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to
Damn!
be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death. It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
No way, it's just about the fucking bucket. Oh my god. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within, a cavernous void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness? Look at my... No, don't look at my... I'm saying I'm licking my fingers. God damn. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is a totally
Can you
different...
see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Oh, yes. The fucking Latin. A bucket with two What? A bucket with two handles. This bucket is depicted as having two handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. Huh. Hopefully I can try to do that. Inferno bucket. A replica of the Inferno bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains, no one can control a bucket. Why can't I... Fuck. Let me lick more of my fingers. I'll get back to you. think we're good for now. I'm gonna wipe my fingers against my shorts. Hopefully it works. Yup. Okay, I think we're good. Let's go to this exhibit. What the fuck? Okay. Cave drawing. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which the bucket has already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. I see. I'm gonna go to the other door. Oh. The stress relief bucket. An analogy. Worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance, vulnerability, size and strength of the bucket, coping strategies equals holes. Oh, I see. Rest and relaxation, doing something you enjoy, rest and relaxation. Stress, the level of water in the bucket. Oh, okay. The stress bucket presented without commentary. Oh. I see.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one.
Huh?
It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Ah. The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance inevitably is for our own good. Oh. And I'm gonna fall down. I don't know what happened.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
Yes.
Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Okay.
How long was I sitting there? Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while... He made a note to be more careful with time from now on. The embrace of an old friend, a weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
Okay. I remember, yeah.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Meeting. Stanley finds a door that leads to a broom closet. Okay. Oh.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it. Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go.
What?
There, now settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take our hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Meh.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see, I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself,
Oh, that's a bucket.
There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Okay.
You know
I'm not convinced.
I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Yep. Any day now. Isn't that somebody? Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Bullshit. Bucket. Boxes. Some bullshit.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the... But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Bucket. I was gonna go for the good ending.
bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
True.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? Furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I?
Yeah.
Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Damn.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Still need to figure out. Red and blue. Large room, lots of boxes. No, I'm not going in there.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unwrapped, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Yeah. I didn't actually think I was going to be able to do that. Predicted. I don't know how many hours I've been doing this, but yeah.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Let's just do a regular ending.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have
But that came down faster.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
No.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Ain't no way.
And a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Where are the fucking figurines? Fuck. Fuck it. Huh. So the same room in the
All his
warehouse.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Just no
Stanley
bucket.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
Oh
memo.
wow. Okay, that's cool. It has a sticker still.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
No.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler anarines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler anarines. None of us can.
True.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see, there's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before.
What?
Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Hold up. Okay. But let's go down this. Oh.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion?
It is.
Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
What the fuck? Oh, yes. Huh. Oh god, that was actual... Okay, it's looping right now, but that was... a dead rat. When I asked him friends for help, our friends left Did you know what that trend was to skip the intro sequence? Only the worst 30% chose the blue door? Wow. A dead rat. Huh.
Now, would you say
What?
that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on.
Oh.
And now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Okay.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective?
That's true.
Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for you. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here?
Batman Arkham Biddy.
Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Let's see. Oh my. Y'all fucking me up. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think
Oh,
this game is about, Stanley?
oh
What's
my
our
god.
backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below
Oh my
you from
god.
up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes,
Even has
that
space
must be it.
puffs.
What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley.
I do
And it
too.
seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
That was fucking Minecraft sound. Oh my god, I almost remember. No, this doesn't look as pretty as Firewatch. Let me see how accurate it is. Not even the bump to my head.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
There you go. Now it's actually good.
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You really wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You
There's
can
a
just go
death right
in
there.
any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
How can I tell you?
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Oh, I can't even imagine. Oh my god, stop. Stop. Stop.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There
Oh
isn't
my god,
any
that's actually
possibility
how
that
it...
you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you
Oh
manage
my
to get
fucking
lost in this
god.
game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
This is actually
Okay,
phenomenal.
so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together.
Oh,
Yeah, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
holy shit. Oh. Oh. Look at the movement. Damn. Oh. This is actually cool.
Are you doing
Okay.
it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is
Yeah.
it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard
Oh,
on?
what the...
Stanley, I have a thought. I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes. Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more.
No, 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 no,
I'm
no, 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 no.
insatiable. More balls.
Oh, shit. Boom. There we go. Boom. Goal, bitch. Hold on, what?
Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that, Stanley.
Oh my god. What? No. No. Oh my. This is the original. Is it? The original. This has to be the original Stanley Parable. I recognize. Oh my god, the doors. Nah, this is just Gmod, bro. What? Look at this. What if I close the door? I can't close the door. Do I need to get something and then... What happened?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Yeah. You sure you can wait? Oh. Okay.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Now there's... Gotta go to the warehouse again. What the fuck? Who the one?
A set of two open doors. This
Pretty sure it's over here.
Way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire.
Yes, I wanted to stop by the employee lounge first because I really do care about this.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Wait. Oh, you gotta be fucking. Oh, you gotta be fucking.
And there it is, the last Spiggly Wiggly. Say this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it.
Yep.
Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward.
Yep.
I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and
Yep.
we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Oh. Well, what is, what, huh? What the, okay.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the. You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? Silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording. It was all just in Stanley's head.
I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you
It's like,
must
whoa!
absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be
Wow.
so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do.
It's just time to wake up.
But now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
It's just time to wake up. Back up. What? Wait. There's no input there. Wait, what the what did you say? Oh my fucking god.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's just...
Yeah?
It's those figurines. Those figures. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one.
Yep.
Isn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness?
Yes.
Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone?
Okay.
I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Now remembering when Stanley found the collectibles. Memory zone. Yup. What? Have to. Okay, that doesn't have anything.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many
What
of
is
them
that?
we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
What?
And here was a second Stanley.
Oh my god.
You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
Oh shit. Oh. Okay.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
No. Under stairs. Under stairs. Under stairs.
No, 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 no. Under the stairs was the 4th place you found a fig-Andy, not the 3rd. Well, I guess perhaps I shouldn't be surprised. Memories like these are so precious and so cherished that they all just sort of blend together, don't they? You know what? If under the stairs feels like the 3rd place you found a collectible, then who am I to go making judgments? Let's see. What came next?
I didn't think that would happen
Yes,
yet.
we found a Figley in this pink room.
No, we didn't.
Well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Yeah. Okay.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one
Yes.
was really something special. It was by the red and blue doors. I remember it so clearly.
I do
In
remember
fact,
that.
because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
What's that in there? Oh. Oh. It's mini stand number 5, baby. Bro. You found it near the red and blue doors. Yep. Best boy. Okay.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I
Yep.
spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Okay, let's go to the. Oh, the illusion of choice. What the fuck? All
And then,
right.
Stanley, then we came to the last collectible,
Hello.
the final figurine, right here in the warehouse. This
Yup.
memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently.
I think they actually recorded the lines for the order you actually got the figurines in. That's actually crazy to me.
Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's
Yes.
all of them. They're all collected.
Yup.
It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Yep. Oh, you are in the present.
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, I'm not doing this. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some
Damn
way we
it.
can stay here, keep enjoying? Go backwards. We'll do the Memory Zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, yes, this spot in the warehouse. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the Memory Zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind.
Because it was the last
Let's
one.
keep going. I want more.
You want more? Okay, let's do it. Narrator. Freedom of choice. Gone.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Yep, I do. It was made in...
Yes.
Yeah, I love that video too, man. Oh, God.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room,
Yep.
though. A solid room.
Yeah, looks pretty cool. Pretty cool.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
What? Oh. Let's go to the boss's office. I don't think we can go to the boss's office. Okay, we go. We're gonna go. Okay.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes,
Yep.
I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it, the very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
I want to just go to the exit. What?
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then. But time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories. Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Oh yes, the illusion. Oh God.
And before everything else, there was your office.
Yep. Yep. My office.
Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office?
No.
There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
The title screen.
Remember.
Oh.
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions.
Huh?
I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me.
Huh.
He would make the decisions. He would decide
What?
which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore.
Huh?
But he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things.
Yes.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest, and this was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Yep.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
No, we didn't.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
What?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket.
This is your intervention?
Everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content.
True.
We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet.
Yep.
Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it. Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
It trademarked. Alright, the music. Let's get it.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
The bucket. No way.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character.
Huh?
This is the Bucket Destroyer.
What?
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
No.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
No. No.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the bucket destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the bucket destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet?
The bucket.
Not. I wonder what sort of bucket destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this.
Yeah.
Okay, the bucket destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the bucket destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
What is that?
The bucket destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
And it's gone. Oh, word? Loading screen, baby. What? But... I can't hear shit.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Okay. What? What?
Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket.
What?
But Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
What? What?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
What if the box come through here?
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling
What?
to him,
What?
telling him that the
What was about
unfamiliar
that?
lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind.
Yeah.
The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left
What?
to go back to the meeting room.
No, the fuck I didn't.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Isn't he supposed
Said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do. Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Let me get on that. Okay.
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here. Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Okay.
Now pick up the phone, said the bucket. Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Word?
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
What? Oh. To take me to work with you?
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Okay. Take me back to home with you.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it would ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it.
Like the hydro replacer from Ratchet and Clank. Just listen to the loud mag. Press any.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is this awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
To ignore anyone in your life except for me. Okay.
It's sad.
Oh, jeez.
I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley, President?
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Maybe. President will live the same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I carrying water from room to room? It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
I don't know. Go to home. Press any button to go home, to work, to home, to work, to home, to work, to home. Okay.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No,
what?
No. What's going on? Why do I want to be
I fucking hate paraphilias.
Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes.
Bruh.
The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Bruh, am I gonna nut in the bucket?
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Close your eyes. Go back to work, Stanley. Whoosh. Yeah, this looks different. What the fuck?
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Let's just complete the game.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office,
No.
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Shit.
Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it the bucket knew all along?
Yep.
Was the bucket guiding him?
Yep.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I love peanut butter, bruh. I forgot that
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
So true. What if I just...
But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below.
Yep.
Thankfully, he fell directly under the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall. Now, what to do next, Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here. A bit cold, perhaps. After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well.
How?
And a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis.
I thought it said creaming.
But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning.
Damn.
It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was inconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
What the fuck?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Or maybe... Now hear me out. Oh, what the... Huh? Bitch, I'm about to cheat. Oh.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-winning, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Then how do you... More memories. Yeah. The game then resets. What the fuck? Okay, that's the figurines ending, but I'm trying to get the epilogue and shit, you know what I'm saying? This fuck ass. Look. Okay. Here we go. Uh... How do you get the epilogue, bitch? Bitch, I'm about to... Main article, epilogue, come on. Post-memory zone. What? What? I got all the figurines, bitch. What? What? Recollecting. Did I... Oh no. What? What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had... Stanley cradled the bucket in a gentle embrace, protective.
I have all the figurines, right? What the fuck?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and
No.
entered the door on his left.
I think I messed up.
Still no one was here.
Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
Okay. I did it right.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's
Do I have to get all the figurines? Because I didn't get all of them. I will.
Any human life.
Stanley
Parable.
Parable.
This revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing
Epilogue.
presence of the bucket.
No
Even
way.
now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and
Stanley and the
light
bucket
pierce
walked
the dark
upstairs to the
clouds of confusion and chaos.
You found one of them.
It would be
one of
with
the
him
miniatures,
always.
the intrinsic
The
drive.
bucket was.
So, I
And
implore
he
you
knew
to,
it.
in the
The
exhibit
two
where
of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind.
Base, I don't care.
memory, this one. Something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something. And then you would. Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed. It can be on my. Oh, and then I'll rip. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
What? How? Are you serious? Are you serious? Oh my god, no. There's no way. I have to do everything again. I have to do everything again. God damn it. Speedrun time. Time is up. 12:27. Time is up. 12:27 still. God damn. Damn.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Let's try to go for the
Perhaps
heaven
simply missed
ending.
a memo.
I know it's somewhere around here.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
God damn it. Bucket.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
That sucks. That sucks.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Weird.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
What?
Shocked, Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this.
Oh my
What
god.
dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad
Maybe.
behind the boss's desk guard Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and
We could just do the ending
Stanley
twice,
calmly
honestly.
walked forward into the opened passageway.
Do I have to go through every exhibit? I don't know. I just know that for sure I have to get every
Descending deeper into the
collectible,
building, Stanley realized he felt a bit
every
peculiar.
figurine.
It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room.
I believe this was my first ending.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength? All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I just have to get to the boss's office.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
God.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Pretty sure it's 434 or something like that. Let me check.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever.
Now it's just the computer. Four, five. I don't know how many buttons you have to press. I don't know if that really counts as an ending. Okay, let's see if this Just gonna press a bunch of buttons. Please let me be able to. Oh, my hair. Ah, shit. Okay.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Okay, I think we have to do the regular
When
ending.
Stanley came to a set of
Nah,
two
fuck
open
it.
doors, this was not the
Boring.
correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I think this counts as an ending.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Just gotta keep going for.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
That's cap.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered...
Here we go.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
I think I need the official ending.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oof.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
8.
8. Yeah, bitch, I ate that up. Got him. Okay. Eight hundred 888.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Fuck it.
Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway
never
had
mind.
the word, but of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for. Nope, still on board with death.
No dialogue?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this? This the only
It's
reason
me.
he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions To accept it blindly?
Said no.
No. He refused to believe it.
Basically,
He couldn't accept it.
the
His
ending
own
just
life in
means
someone else's control.
Stanley going
Never.
outside is
It
literally
was
the players
Wasn't
stop
it?
playing video
Was it
games.
even possible?
That's the symbolism,
Had
I
he
think.
truly spent his entire life
Maybe there's a lot more to it,
utterly
but
blind to the world?
as a character, he's a character being played by someone, aka us,
Labeled with emotions,
and he's just
happy or sad
Yeah.
or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided
these nuts. Decided he's nuts. Got him.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Yes.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's.
Alright, now we gotta wait.
Freedom was mere moments
How y'all
away.
doing? Shit.
Even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand,
Man, my phone just...
but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all.
I was about to watch this video and now it's gonna be gone.
Perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Hold up, they had the same exact recommendations. What? And the same exact video made me Really? Okay, now I can get the new content, right?
Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Oh, please tell me. Yes.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Surely I'm not going to get the same recommendations 3 times in a row, right? Okay.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable
Spider-Man Miles
Ultra
Morales
Deluxe,
PC console versus mobile.
reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley
Bruh.
Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, wow, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we Should we be moving somewhere or... oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if the... oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Where the content at?
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle?
Yep.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator.
Yep.
Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to
Sound
market
like
for
Reddit,
no
bruh.
reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Yeah. God. Let's get it.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Just in case you didn't know, you can duck in this game. It's gonna auto duck.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
Midsummer has.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable... And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Yep. Oh.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com.
The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom,
Yep.
done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling. These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them. Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. To be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't... What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A
Okay,
skip
Cookie
button?
9.
Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip
I bet
button
you
we
would.
shall have.
Whoa,
And
I just...
here it is. Go ahead. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of... Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed. The end is never the end, 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 is never.
Gotta appreciate how fast it actually loads. Look at that. This is just the PS4 version. Shit. I'm gonna have to go through this game again. Hell, I might do it. Alright, I have to do the Tuesday speed run. We just going. Man, he never got to talk.
Gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Let's get it, 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 let's get it.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley parable is a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud of
imagine this. There's like, of course, there's the regular endings. Right? And then there's the B endings for Bucket. So ending A and ending B. Because there's half the amount, there's double the amount of endings with the Bucket. Almost.
Why there are so many possibilities.
So I think that's cool.
It could go in so many different directions.
Like B ending.
This is what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration. like balloons. But I'm undecided on get well someday and happy 12th birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy
You
12th
mother...
birthday, step-niece, it is.
There's a illusion of choice. Even in a fucking... Oh my god. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
No, we're fucking not.
You've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we
Fuck
all have to move
off,
on from our mistakes.
God.
Now,
Damn
here's something
you.
special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes, you see, you're... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the... Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen. What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet? Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game.
Hell
In the
yeah.
Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Can I skip it? I think. Yeah.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic. You know what, Stanley? I actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
I feel like there's nothing there. Oh well. I think I just had to get the bucket. God.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who
Engendered?
played it. Well, I'm
What does
happy
that
to
even
say
mean?
that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem of the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
What? It still has
feel
stickers.
The glow of comfort,
It still
even
has
in the
stickers.
face of crushing despair,
Oh, shit.
must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact,
So really doing this does nothing.
can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an
Oh.
air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more awaits you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, shit.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Oh, where's the shit? There it is.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Let's go down those, up those stairs, so. Shit. Please no screenshots. What are these, NFTs? Oh my god. If Stanley Parable ever makes, if the studio ever makes NFTs,
Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean?
God.
But the Stanley Parable 2. Now that's an artistic statement. All
Am I
right.
able to?
Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Yes.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags.
Yep.
And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game.
So we just have the first game.
To love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game.
Yep, makes sense.
I suppose it could, but it would need a really tremendous title screen. A
True.
title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2."
Hose.
Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Somebody needs to hire Kevin, bruh. Okay, here we go. Doesn't matter if I reset. The info was still there.
Gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it? When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I'm gonna take a screenshot of each one.
Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these. Only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets...
Okay, let's try for the stairs next.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe Stanley would never pick up the bucket. A lonely bucket, lonely.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his
I
left.
should have listened to that. Oh. How come? Nah, bro, that's kind of weird.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No, I didn't.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
The motherfucker's out here really named Stanley. Bitch, your ass is flat. What the f?
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Stanley, pick up the bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket. Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
What did the papers on the floor mean? Oh. I'm stupid.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Which one is it? It's the other door. I know where. I know where. I know where. I remember.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Yep.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift. Yeah, good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Oh, I'm an idiot. I have to go without the bucket. I'm dumb.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, there we go.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, I didn't.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing
Can I
but
really just...
you all this time. What?
Wow, that's
Really?
fucked up.
I was in
Okay,
the middle
word.
of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you
Yes.
that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why,
Yes.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlers.
I think that really brings it down.
What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it.
Like,
I'm
are
sure
you
it will
really...
come to me.
Do you really think you finding the Stanley ring is gonna make me excuse you interrupting me or some shit like that? It would have been cool. It would have been cool. But, oh well.
Stanley had never seen the
I
office
didn't take a
this brightly
screenshot.
lit. Was it a sign of
You know
something?
what?
He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Think about it. Oh my god, I had to do another reset.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh,
Here's the door, just go. You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anmarines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anmarines. None of us can.
god damn it. Alright, one last time. Let's go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley?
Do I need the bucket? I don't think it matters if I have the bucket or not.
Decided to go to the meeting
Bucket, I'm
room.
going with the
Perhaps
bucket.
the confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Wait. This isn't right. Fuck.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
True.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom coming to a staircase. Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's
I think it's a
office.
glitch.
And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment. Is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
God. So
Stanley,
good.
I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those figures. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the
Yes.
brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines.
This time
Just one more
we'll
time.
collect everything and get it correct.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley. And here was a second Stanlerine.
What?
You found this one all on your own, just by
Right.
poking around in the warehouse. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
So that was 2. 3 is the stairs. Stairs, red and blue. Stairs, red and blue, fireplace.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Stairs.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here, under the stairs. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
What?
Let's
What
see,
about
what
masturbation?
came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened. This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was behind the boss's office. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion.
Oh my god, there's one for every... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Okay, I'm glad I actually did this playthrough. It's mini Stan number 5. Yes. That's actually sick. Voices actually do matter. It actually does keep track of everything. That's great. That's just crazy to me. Trademark.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of
Yes.
time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Let's go to the left, then to the right. And the last one.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here in the boss's bathroom. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others.
Yep.
Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like. And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone.
And then
No,
you can actually
I'm not
tell
ready to move
when it
on.
actually.
Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the Memory Zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Yes.
Okay, yes, the boss's bathroom. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the Memory Zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going, I want more. And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Yes. God damn, the amount of effort, man.
Yes, I love that video.
The amount of irony. God.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
Yep. It's pretty cool.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Next one. Let's go to the left and go to the right. Wait. Oh, yeah.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes,
Yes.
I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going.
Because you'll never improve if you don't.
This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Nothing. Could I go back? Yeah. Gotta go back. Game is very pretty.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then. But time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
Nostalgia. It'll fucking get you.
Oh, yes, the two dwarfs. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one. And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go.
I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good.
And then,
I did enjoy telling the story
here we
so
go.
very much.
This is the story
Here we
of
go. This
a
is
man
the
named
story
Stanley.
of a man named Stanley.
Go to my menu. What? How do you...
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Down to a staircase.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building.
Hold on, I'm gonna stop the stream, then I'll come back.